Chargers 28.
Oh, boy.
The Minnesota Vikings 24. There were many decisions in this game by Brandon Staley, as always. But the Chargers get on the board with their first win, 1-2. The Vikings fall to 0-3. Justin Herbert finishes 40 for 47 for 405 yards. It was the, per Ben Solak, highest completion percentage for a player with at least 40 completions in a game. 40 for 47, that's 85%. That includes the turnover-worthy touchdown to Josh Palmer. But Keenan Allen goes 18 catches for 215 yards. Wow. And all that said, the Chargers go for it on 4th and 1 at around their own 20 to win the game. Fullback dive gets stuffed, gives the Vikings another chance to win, but a tipped interception ends the comeback attempt for the Vikings. A lot to unpack in this game.
Yeah, and this was the other game that had one of the highest blitz rates in NFL history. Justin Herbert was blitzed basically all the time by Brian Flores and the Minnesota defense. What we got? 49 dropbacks, of which 41 were blitzes.
It's like 20. I mean, that's what, 84, 85%?
It's pretty high.
Yeah.
Of those blitzes, do you know how many resulted in pressure?
10.
12. So they blitzed the ever-living crap out of Justin Herbert, and it did nothing. That's awful. Because the whole point about blitzing is you're going to create pressure come hell or high water. Like, it might...
There'll be holes in the coverage,
yes,
but you'll at least have someone near the quarterback.
You are going to get pressure. They may find the hole in the coverage before it matters, but you're going to generate some heat. They didn't even generate the heat. It's like we're going to send the house, and the house is going to get picked up.
Man, it was such a fascinating game both ways. I mean, there was remember week 1, the Chargers game script against Miami, they were running the ball not twice as much as they were passing, but it was, they were running. They had more running back attempts than dropbacks. And it was like, all right, I know Kellen Moore got booted out of Dallas because he wasn't running the ball enough for some. And so Kellen Moore is going to come in and run the ball with the Chargers.
Is this so since they lost Austin Eckler, they've had no run game. Is this a running backs matter? Like, is Austin Eckler on the foot, like sending them texts during the games, being like, tried to tell you, all I wanted was the money,
I think Eckler's one of the difference-making running backs.
Because
as a pass catcher as well. I think
remember the speculation in the offseason was, look, running backs have no leverage, right? Every single one of these guys that tried to make a point or a contractual negotiation, stalemate, whatever, tried to play hardball, they got screwed, right? Saquon had to come back for $900,000 extra and still had to play in training camp. Josh Jacobs had to show up for the same amount of money. Okay, he got to miss training camp, but basically a wash. Austin Eckler, didn't get traded, didn't get the giant amount of money. The speculation was, though, that, okay, they can't win back the money, but maybe you're going to get this, like, malicious compliance thing where running backs go, oh, actually, I've picked up a niggling thigh injury. And, normally I might play on through that, but since you're not going to give me any more money, I'm actually just going to go, no, I'm hurt. I'm not playing. Because now you're sort of seeing what happens when they're not on the field. Like, Austin Eckler was crushing things in that first game since Austin Eckler's been there. I mean, Joshua Kelly in this game, 8 attempts. Sorry, that was never mind. I'm looking at wrong numbers. Yeah.
11 for 12.
There you go. 11 attempts, 12 yards. Isaiah Spiller, 2 attempts, 7 yards. They had no run game. And it's not like the Minnesota Vikings defense is tremendous. So I'm kind of wondering if there are situations where these running backs will take their sweet-ass time to get back on the field. And when that happens, they start to look a lot more favorably.
I mean, the rebuttal is, we just scored 28 points. We're scoring 26 per game without you. I know we scored 34 with you. But the rebuttal is, we can have a game in today's NFL where we drop back. I don't know what the exact. At the same time, they had 6 or 7 carries. Justin Herbert had almost 40 dropbacks.
Right.
I like as a concept the team that will adjust week to week and adjust to the game plan. I mean, I think that's how you win in the NFL. That's how New England did it for years, right? There would be some games where Tom Brady dropped back 25 times to start the game and they didn't run, and then other times they'd run the ball and run play action or whatever. I mean, if you say, look, even though the Vikings run defense just got torched by the Eagles last week, you say, hey, our best bet is to spread and pass. is to chuck it around, replace the run game with the pass game. That's what the Chargers proved that they could do with Herbert and when Keenan Allen, Mike Williams just got banged up. But when all those guys are healthy, that is a difficult pass game to stop. So that's the rebuttal is like, hey, we're still putting up points without you. Keenan Allen also with a 49-yard touchdown pass to Mike Williams in there too. So the
I don't know.
Chargers finished with 454 passing yards.
Right. I've always thought this. I don't know what the frequency should be, but I feel like a simple double pass play should be used more often than it is. Right? They'll either like a toss play to the running back who then pulls up and throws it, or the wide receiver screen who then the wide receiver throws it. Like this was a very simple, vanilla double pass play, and the Vikings defense just a complete and total coverage bust and lets the guy wide open behind them. Like clearly you can't do that every game, right? Because they're going to eventually defend it and figure out we're now never going to bite on this thing and we're going to do it. But it should happen more regularly than it does. Because if you're not going to respect that, they are just going to toss it behind you. And if you do respect it, then you're automatically not dedicating as much resource to the screen as you could otherwise. So, yeah, this is a very basic level football thing. But, I can't believe that is as infrequent as it is as a play, given how effective it is when it works.
More trick plays. You're looking for more trick plays.
Just even those ones. Just the routine, simple thing, right? Either it isn't going to be worked because they're actually going to respect the threat of the double move, the fake. But if that happens, then there's automatically one less guy dedicated to stopping the first screen. So it's beneficial either way, the threat of it existing. Alohi Gilman is a player that needs insane credit from this game.
Notre Dame safety.
So goes out there and just takes the ball off TJ Hawkinson. Pass over the middle, first down, I think, on a third down conversion play.
Just took it away.
Just grabs it. Just grabs the ball from TJ Hawkinson, rips it out of his grasp.
At first, I thought they were going to call it an interception.
Right.
Because I didn't know if Hawkinson had it long enough. I was like, man, that would be another rough interception for Kirk Cousins.
To be on the stat sheet for the QB.
Yeah.
But that happened there was a couple of plays in a couple of different games where that happened yesterday, where somebody just went out and ripped the ball away from a dude. So Gilman gets that. That's the 7th lost fumble from the Vikings in 9 quarters to start this season. They almost had another one later on. Again, Gilman. But they ended up reversing it. He basically stripped the ball again, but they ruled, I think, that Madison's forward progress had been stopped and took the fumble away from him, even though it looked pretty clear that it was. So he had an amazing game.
Yeah, so I want to highlight some other key plays in this game. Just before the half, Chargers are down 10-7. They have a 4th and goal from the 1 on the Minnesota 1. They choose to go for it rather than taking the 3. And Justin Herbert throws a laser beam, Donald Parham for the 1-yard touchdown. That decision going into the half was a 4-point decision by Brandon Staley, right? It decided, and they ended up winning by 4. So, just remember that for a minute here.
The velocity on that ball, by the way,
was ridiculous. The replay looked ridiculous. I don't know how he even caught it.
Yeah, you look at the replay and you're saying, okay, it was a 1-yard pass straight at him, and yet that was impressive to bring that ball in, the velocity that it was traveling at.
So that was one play. So the Chargers go up 14-10 at the half. They hit the Keenan Allen to Mike Williams touchdown, go up 11. Then the Vikings go for it on 4th and 6. On the Chargers 36, turns into a 36-yard KJ Osborne touchdown. This is where it felt like, hey, the Vikings have a good passing attack as Jordan Addison is getting involved here, and KJ Osborne has proven to be a pretty good big play type of number 3. But the Chargers' pass defense has been so bad the first 2 weeks. It's like, okay, here it goes again. And then there's another one, 52-yarder to Justin Jefferson through the defense. He finishes with 149 yards. So the Vikings take the lead in the 4th quarter. Chargers come back with the throw that I mentioned. Justin Herbert throws the ball through a Caleb Evans' hands to Josh Palmer for a 30-yard touchdown. That's going to hurt Herbert's grade a little bit and help the stats. But like I said, overall, pretty good game by Herbert, but they needed this one. The Chargers.
Yeah, and then the ending, right?
Then the ending, right?
The Vikings versus the Chargers. It was set up for one of those the ending of this game, without knowing nothing else about it, the ending of this game will be ridiculous because these two teams find ways of doing that every single game. And it's exactly what happened. How are the Chargers going to charger this one away? Well, we saw and the Vikings have a shot. And then the Vikings absolutely butcher the last 30 seconds of getting this, they get a big play, get them down into scoring range.
You're going too quick. You're going too quick.
How am I going too quick?
Because you skipped over the Chargers going for it on 4th and 1.
I didn't skip over it. I said they charged things away. Now it's the Vikings butchering
You yada
things away.
yada.
Yeah.
You yada yada it.
Because,
you can't yada yada.
The Chargers charged, and then the Vikings.
You can't yada yada the decision. The Chargers made, I'll let you set it up in a second. I'll let you explain the Vikings' folly in a minute. The Chargers made a goal line stand with about 3 minutes left in the game. They go first and goal from the 3, because the Vikings screwed this up twice. First and goal from the 3. The Vikings run for a 2-yard gain, -1 yard after that, and then incomplete. Illegal shift gets declined. Chargers come back, basically 2 first downs win it, right? They get the quick first. They come out throwing. First play, throw, 13-yard slant to Keenan Allen, first down. Then they run, and they get within 3rd and 11. They throw a short pass, get within 1 yard. It's 4th and 1 on their own 24. Own 24, you're up 4, under 2 minutes. You just punt it away, right? And play defense, make another stop. No, the Chargers go for it because they know if they convert this, the game's over. Well, the Vikings stuff the Chargers, so the Vikings take over, 1st and 10 at the Chargers, 24. All they need is a touchdown. That is the other decision that Staley. So that's the Staley decision that ended up, it ended up working out, but that was the one that was probably the riskiest, right? You either punt it, the Vikings need a touchdown, or you win it with one play, or you give it to them on the 24. So they give it to them on the 24. Now the Vikings have the ball again.
Yeah. So you back your offense to make 1 yard on one play, and then one of the reasons why that's a potentially beneficial decision is the way it ended up, which is even if you give them the ball with time running down, there's a chance they might not get it done. And then your decision's right either way. Anyway, the Vikings make a big play, get down to the shadow of the goal line. 30 seconds still on the clock. They chew up most of those seconds just getting the next play set up. So they've gone from, we're in a good situation, we can spike it, we can get a few plays off, to no, you get one shot at this. They get the play off, instant pass, fires it at Hawkinson, off Hawkinson's hands, off somebody else's hands, and then drops into the hands of a defender. Game over. You had one shot, you took your shot, you missed your shot. Game.
Yeah, after converting a 4th down, they had 1st and goal from the 6.
Yeah.
And get picked off with 12 seconds left here. There was a lot of time that they ran off after that first down.
That's
the problem.
They had like 30 seconds at the end of that play, and they ended up getting the next play off with like 10 of them left.
Just to go back to that Staley decision, I don't want to sit here and defend Brandon Staley just because he goes for 4th down, and that's often the most analytically inclined move. I wonder how, when you're modeling this stuff, you're taking in all of the future plays, basically, right? So if he punts it, the Vikings get the ball back, let's say $1:45 left. It's not, and they have to drive down and score a touchdown. If they do that, though, there's a chance that there's no time on the clock, right? So if they do score the touchdown, you're down 3, no time on the clock. I think the benefit of going for it on your own 24, as crazy as it sounds, is you have one play to win it, right? Pick up a yard, you win. That's always appealing to me. You get to execute one play to win.
Like if you have one play, your offensive success rate of picking up 1 yard should be very high in today's NFL.
The other thing to factor, though, and I know it didn't play out like this at all, but if the Vikings are going to score a touchdown from the 24, it's going to happen a lot quicker. So theoretically, you'll have some timeouts, and you'll get the ball back with more time to drive for a game-tying field goal. That's also baked in a little bit. It's not an appealing scenario whatsoever, but it's better than the Vikings driving the length of the field, kicking scoring a touchdown, and you don't get the ball back. Just another thing to think about.
Your rate of picking up that 1 yard, by the way, should be even better than like the overall numbers because you're not at the goal line. Like the goal line
for sure.
changes things because there's only 10 yards of field at that point. Everything is condensed. If you're doing this from your own 24, now look, they're going to stack the line. They're going to be condensed because they're going to try and stop you getting that 1 yard. But they can't completely ignore the bomb over the top because you just don't cover somebody. We saw that on the Sunday night game where the Raiders took that shot, right? If you do say, no, we're only focusing on stopping your 1 yard, it's risky, but you can take that shot over the top if they're simply not going to respect that.
All right, so Minnesota falls to 0-3. Of course, we know last year they were 11-0.
Yeah.
in one-score games.
The team can't even regress properly.
Now they're 0-3 in one-score games. I saw old friend Dr. Eric Eager.
Derek Eager.
Not him. Suggesting that the Jets, people are talking about the Jets can make some moves to get Cousins in the door.
Well, that was Gronk.
I know other people have brought
Gronk, I think, said that one of two things is going to happen from this game. I forget what the other one was, but if the Vikings lost, Cousins was gone. That was his thing.
I don't know. I don't know if I see that.
I don't know if I've ever seen a cornerback as susceptible to simple go routes as a Caleb Evans is for the Vikings. It's like he doesn't respect the idea that the guy might just run past him. It's like, no, I'm not going to bite. He's never running at 9. It's going to be something else. He's going to in-break at 15 yards. I'm going to cover that. That's multiple weeks now. He's just allowed a guy to run straight past him, and only like at 20 yards as he realized, this might actually just be a go. I'm screwed. I think he needs to work on that, because those are some pretty big plays to just like not bother covering.
I would try covering the go route.